Hi guys, welcome back to my second video on the channel where you join me along my journey of owning a sports car at 18. That is the MX-5 Mark III. Done a whole video talking about what it's like owning that at 18. That was the last video on the channel, so if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Kind of bring you up to date on what it's like owning an MX-5 for me. So in this video I'm talking about what it's like fitting an aftermarket exhaust, kind of my reasons behind it, why I've done it, how easy it was for someone with zero mechanical knowledge, if I'd recommend it, and so forth. So to start with, I fitted it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't actually record anything. I did take photos throughout the process, so in this video I'm going to be doing a bit of a voiceover, talking you through kind of each of the different steps. And if you want to do it to your MX-5 or your car, what you might need to consider as well. So, as you saw from the introduction, there was a bit of a sneak peek at what it sounds like. When you compare that to the last video, I think it's really nice. There'll be some more clips at the end of the video showing you how it sounds, doing a couple of drive-bys, cold starts, everything like that. So, to start with then, how much did it cost me? I paid it outright from a brand called Malian Exhaust, big shout out to them, for £250. I think that's fairly reasonably priced considering some of the other ones on the market like Cobalt, Scorpion and so forth. They can cost upwards of £400, so I think 250 is quite reasonable for me, especially since I'm still at university and whatnot, so I can't really afford to go out and spend big chunks of money on something like that. Now, talked about in the last video, insurance. I'm doing this properly, I'm declaring all my mods, I want to keep everything legal. So how much did it cost me to declare an aftermarket exhaust to my insurance? Well, this was one of the big things before getting any of my mods that kind of put me off doing anything, because I thought I'm already paying £4 for the insurance. Getting an exhaust on there is going to spike it up another £1,000 or something, so I was quite reluctant until I did a couple of test quotes to see how much it would cost, and the price was actually really reasonable. So I went ahead, paid £250 for the exhaust, got it, fitted it, declared it to my insurance, and they only charged me £13 extra. I think that is way more than reasonable. I can 100% do that. Don't mind paying £13 just to keep it legal. Right, when you order this race type exhaust from Malian Exhaust, what comes in the box? So it's a massive box, of course, it's got everything in. You get the actual back box itself, kind of from where it bolts onto the mid pipe all the way up to the exhaust tips. And then included with that you also get some proper bigger, thicker tips to attach onto the end. You get clamps with them, and as well as that you get some stickers, which is always a nice bonus. They don't actually give you any instructions, so if you're not very proficient in mechanical stuff, don't worry, I could do it, so you can as well. Just wanted to interrupt quickly guys to say that 80% of you aren't actually subscribed, so please do me a massive favour, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on so that you can be notified when I next upload a video. Thank you very much. Right, okay, getting into the process then. You need to make sure the car is cold. You don't want to be going and messing with the exhaust, touching it, scalding your hand because you've just been driving it round and burning your fingertips off. So first things first, make sure the car is cold. Right, then as you kind of look underneath the car, we didn't need to jack it up. It was already high enough just laying down really. We could get all the way to where we needed to. So to start with, there are two bolts that kind of attach the mid pipe to the original stock back box. Literally it's just a couple of bolts either side. Undo those. We did it from the back. We found we had a bit more space when we did it from the back. Kind of loosened the bolt, and then we could undo it and pull it out. So did that to both of them, and that meant the back box was loose from the mid pipe. Now it could kind of dangle and wobble and whatnot. Right, that means the only thing keeping that exhaust up now are two little rubber hangers where the stock back box, kind of, there's some prongs that come out of it and they hook into this hanger and kind of stop it from falling, give it that extra layer of support. So you need to gently try and wiggle those out. Depending on how old your exhaust is, they might be quite stuck in there, they might not. As I said in the last video, I just had my full exhaust system replaced due to corrosion, so my exhaust was fairly new. The bolts weren't seized up, the bolts weren't rusted, the hangers were in fairly good condition, so I could just slide those right out and then gently lower the stock back box and remove it from the car. Right, so now that that's out the way, you're left with just a manifold from the engine coming down to a mid pipe, and that's it. So as you do when you're changing an exhaust, you want to hear how it sounds with no back box at all. So that's exactly what we did. We only did it for about a minute or so just to hear the sound. So here's a little clip about how it sounds with no back box on at all.
One eternity later.
Pretty loud if you ask me. Right, so we thought it'd be quite helpful to kind of place the two back boxes together so that you can see the difference really. Now, without going into much detail, that big box you can see in the middle of the stock one is essentially the muffler. So the bigger the box really, the quieter the sound is. As you can see, the box is absolutely massive, and especially compared to the new Malian one where it's only two small boxes, it's quite evident how much of a difference this new exhaust is going to make. Now that you've heard how the car sounds without a back box, we're now moving on to kind of cleaning up the area, clean up that mid pipe, get rid of any of the residue or any of the gunk that's on there. We did this just with like a wire brush and essentially just cleaned up the area. Once you've done that, you're going to want to apply some sealant. We just popped to Halfords and got some exhaust sealant, kind of placed it around the edge, ready for when we put the new back box on. Right, so now to get the new back box on the car, we're going to essentially do the same process but in reverse. So we're going to start by hooking on the prongs from the new exhaust into those hangers. Since we didn't have to replace them, it was fairly easy, we could just kind of slide them in. We didn't need to apply any lubricant or anything, we could just put it straight through the hole and then it kind of clipped through and was fine. Did that on either side so that the back box could hang just on its own freely. After that, we're going to want to line up the new back box to where it connects to the mid pipe. Line it up so that we're not smearing the sealant everywhere. Place it together and then place both of the bolts in, only loosely, just so that it kind of keeps the place. We found it easier again to tighten it from the back. So tighten both the bolts, make sure it's nice and tight, no gaps for air to kind of come out of or escape from. Then once it's now bolted together, we like to apply some more sealant on the outside, kind of just solidifying everything, giving that extra layer so that air can't get out and moisture or air can't get in. Because we've now applied the sealant, it's important now to let it dry. So we didn't drive the car for a little bit, just gave it some time to kind of solidify and so that it wouldn't come apart while we're in the middle of a drive. So that's how you fit the back box, a Malian exhaust one, replacing the stock one on the Master MX-5 Mark III. Coming up now is a couple of different clips on the results, kind of how it sounds in all different scenarios like drive-bys, cold starts, revving and so on and so forth. Right, as for my conclusion then, do I like it? Absolutely, I love it. This has been an absolute brilliant modification. For someone with no mechanical knowledge, it's been really straightforward to fit. Literally bolt off, bolt on, really easy. I feel like anyone could do it, even though they didn't supply us with any instructions. As for the sound, I think it just gives it a nice bassier tone. It's got a bit more of a burble in there. Sounds just a bit more aggressive, really. Would I recommend it for anyone else? Absolutely. As I said, I feel like anyone could do it. It just makes your car sound just that bit nicer. Makes it a bit more pleasurable to drive, and kind of just brings even more fun out of the car. The only problem I face with it is now, because it's louder, I'm assuming since it's louder there's more vibrations going on, which is causing a bit of a rattle within the cabin. I'm looking into what that could be, so hopefully I can get it fixed soon, because it's a little bit irritating, but honestly it's nothing really major. And then the only other problem, that it's not really a problem at the moment, but I'm thinking maybe further down the line or when I do a big road trip, when you start to reach about 70 miles an hour, it can get a little bit drony. There's definitely got to be some ways to fix that, so I'm going to do lots of research on what I can do, try out a few different things and see if that makes it any better, but at the moment it's not really a major concern for me. Right, thank you all for watching this video then. I really appreciate all the support on the last video. It honestly means the world to me. So make sure you can like, subscribe, comment down below, give me some suggestions of what other videos you'd like to see, and I'll be sure to make those happen. Hope you have a good day, night, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. Thank you very much, and goodbye.